became an artist. I'm not sure I became an artist so much as I was just kind of born that way. And I sort of think of being an artist as a state of being as opposed to a set of skills or something I do. It's more like a deep way of looking at the world and then turning that back out onto the canvas. And it's a reciprocal relationship with the canvas in that way. Well, I'm actually originally from Saskatchewan, where I was fortunate enough to have a large wooded area behind our house where I grew up. And I spent a lot of time there climbing the trees and weaving the grasses and building structures out of twigs and daydreaming. And I think that's where I originally developed a very strong relationship to the earth, which is my inspiration for all the paintings. So that's the core of my artistic practice. But I did have a formal art education going to John Abbott College in Montreal and York University in Toronto. However, I did leave university in the last year, bought a motorcycle, put my paints on the back, and rode to California. And I think that informed my artistic practice more than anything. I learned to live life on my own terms. And for me, it's very important to paint what I smell, taste, hear, and see. So I need to be in the actual environment. And that motorcycle trip really taught me all about that. So why I paint what I paint. I paint um, mostly earth-inspired paintings, which for me means um, listening intently to the non-human voices, something that we as a society aren't that accustomed to doing, but it means listening and looking and feeling the textures, the sounds, the smells, everything that's going on in the forest is informing the painting. That's all coming through and being put onto the canvas along with the paint. So that for me, it's really important to have a strong emotional connection to what I'm painting. Often people will respond to a piece and say, oh, I love that place. I know where that is. It's my cottage. And it really doesn't matter where it is. And I often try not to tell where the geographical place is because they're responding to their emotional connection. And that's what's so important to me. Coming from that place of love for different places on the planet that we each have, very special places. So the show for Autumn Falls obviously is revolving around autumn, my favorite season though. And unfortunately this year I can't cross the border and see all the beauty that's going on south of the border. But fortunately here, I'm very close to the Laurentian Mountains where I've been hiking as well. And the colors are just astounding this year. It's a very dangerous time of year for me to even drive because I can't focus. It's so beautiful. And so this collection is a bit from this year, but also from previous years of hiking and paddling in various locations. And just this burst of vitality and intense color that comes before the very quiet, calm, colorless winter. So it's a joy to paint this season. One of my favorites, well, not my favorites, they're all my favorites, but one of the particular pieces in the show is called Standing by the River, and it's a small maple bush growing on some rocks beside a river. It's actually the Oxtongue River. And I was fortunate enough to be an artist in residence last September at Algonquin Park. It's the iconic park of Canada where the group of 7 painted. And I got to stay with the scientists and the naturalists in their quarters in the back. And we went out at night and howled for wolves, and I learned about moths and moss, and it was just a remarkable experience. So that piece is from that residency, and it was a really great experience all around.